Greetings, colleagues. We're up to episode 16. I thought we'd never get this far. Turns out we have. And today, look, who has time to get to that big pile of research papers on their bedside table?
And you're right, James. It's a big thing to work through. We've all got our favourite texts, but today we're going to have a look at research papers and journals.
Yeah, look, and the trap here is you read something in 2015 and you think it's the way, and turns out there's a better way, so you've got to stay across it.
So what we've done is we've put together a list of recommended research papers. There's a lot from CC, but also we scout a little bit wide. There's a cheat sheet that's up below this episode that you can download at home and click on and go to each of the pieces. We'll keep that as a live document, and if anybody's got a great research paper, email it to one of us.
We'll add it. Let's make it cumulative and something that we can all benefit from.
Yep, great. So let's jump into the first one, James. So we've broken them up into categories. The first one that we're going to look at is a general term that we've called school improvement. One of my absolute favourite papers, James, by John Hattie. It goes back to 2015. John breaks down the secrets of getting a school to really thrive. There are two things in this one that I absolutely love. Shifting the narrative from achievement to progress, and the second one is actually defining what a year's worth of progress looks like and agreeing on it. I believe that is a paper that can be used by every single school, and I wouldn't, if I was dropped in to be a principal tomorrow in a school, that would be the very first piece of research I'd take my entire staff through.
Excellent.
There's the Grattan Institute report on turnaround schools, and basically this talks about schools that are significantly below the state and describes a radical process to gain significant improvement. The research suggests that if you go for incremental improvement, you'll never close the disparity gap. You've got to make a big difference quickly. I love that paper.
That won't apply to every school in these networks, though.
No, if your school is significantly below state or your similar groups and you're looking to make a really big jump, that's the paper for you.
Yep.
Interestingly, we put a couple of papers up on characteristics of high-performing schools. When you drill down, it's nearly the same principles as turnaround schools anyway, but that's a great paper, as is the others on high-performing schools. We've also got the how high expectations and engagement in primary school drive student learning.
Yeah, and we looked at the secondary complementary paper that goes with that in the last episode. Yep.
So. And our team in CC are fantastic, and we certainly value their work. We've got another one, using value-added measures to identify school contributions to student learning. That's a really interesting document.
Is that not where we come across the term nested variable?
Yes.
One of my favourite statistical terms.
And finally, the high value-added schools, key drivers of school improvement. Actually, I shouldn't have said finally. There are two more. The characteristics of high-growth schools, and also identifying potential strengths and weaknesses in KLAs using the NAPLAN results.
Look, the benefit of the CZ stuff is you can go to the bank on it. You know that team's done all of the research and just put a really concise review of the research there for our consumption.
Yep. Our next category that we coined is organisational culture. A great paper on leading agile transformation, certainly really useful to take your executive team through. So there are a series of great AITSL resources. This one's on the Essential Guide to Professional Learning and Leading a School Culture. Strengthening collective efficacy through meaningful collaboration. We know the power of collective efficacy. And we've got another one there, the Many Hands Make Light Work document.
And all of those cut to, and you and I have seen this, those schools that are faring well at this moment in time have got that cross-school sense of purpose and consistency and continuity nailed down.
And I would love, James, for there to be a measure of collective efficacy.
Yeah.
So what percentage of staff get what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're going to do it. And then if you could do the fidelity test that they actually do what's said, that would be absolutely the school that's flying.
Ask the guys at CZ about that.
Okay.
Literacy and numeracy. Can I talk to this?
Absolutely, you can.
Bring them up. we've spoken about this, and this is the evidence base of our K6 situational analysis tool.
Yep, and we didn't put too much in this one, James, just because that tool is so comprehensive.
This one has got great organisers and has great macro advice for your school's approach. However, stay tuned for the numeracy version of the K6 situational analysis tool because that will go a little bit deeper and a little bit narrower.
Yeah, a great piece of work that's coming. Okay, that brings us on to professional learning. I think this is something that when we look at school plans, we don't put enough focus on the importance. If we want to improve anything, the way a principal is going to do it is by building the teacher's capacity. To do that, our professional learning's got to be tight. Several of the essential guides from AITSL, professional learning collaboration, the elements of effective professional development out of our own CC again. Which forms of professional development improve student outcomes? The late, great Dr. Brock. Professional learning around looking at innovation.
Our episode on theory to action really called out the necessity to identify the logic model. We're plugging in this PL, we're expecting something to happen before the results come. Those readings will help with that.
Okay. Every child known, valued and cared for. Now, a huge body of work, and we've been looking at it. We've had 4 episodes. We've got a 5th one coming around the disability strategy, and then we've got a simplification. Yeah, now I'm making up good words.
Synthesis.
It's red hot chili peppers in me coming out. Capturing and measuring student voice. I think that's a great paper. Improving high school engagement, which we spoke about. Classroom management and the importance of classroom management and student behaviour is undeniable. We spoke about students' sense of belonging in the last episode.
Yeah, and there's 3 partner papers that go with that one.
There's one of them there.
Yeah.
Okay, that then takes us through to assessment and feedback. Now, we could have done a segment on this alone, and there is so much. Reassessing assessment, professional practice, formative assessment. This one's actually from the Victorian Department of Education. I hope that's okay for us to share, James, but there's certainly some real value in it. And look, I've got to say, if I was looking at formative assessment, I'd probably, by all means, use a paper to be informing people.
Frame the conversation.
But then I'd be going and looking at somebody like Dylan Williams. Professional conversations, improvement-focused feedback. We know the effect size of feedback. And this one, I've just got to remember what it is. Providing quality feedback, and that's a very simple, practical guide. So, James, a really quick and dirty tour of a wide range of research that's available for principals to use as a first point in looking outward.
So you're going to categorise these, and we're asking people if they have something useful or that would be useful to their colleagues, send them to us and we'll just make that a central repository.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. All right, well, there you go. There's some light reading. As I said, the CZ things are a real shortcut to, canvassing a lot of research.
Yeah. And there is the CC library that requests that you can go and do a request through. But I think that gives everybody a great starting point with a diverse range of papers.
All right. Okay. I think that's it for research.
It is. On that note, goodbye.
Bye.